What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you saw in the last video, we got the frame. Right now it's sitting in that rust converter, so it's got about 12 to 24 hours left to cure. Once that cures, we'll get that painted. But as you can see, we have the welder out, we got all the rocker panels out, and we're about to get this truck put back together. I'm hoping we can do both sides today, but if not, we can at least get one done. I'm hoping we can fly through it. It's just, oh, this is definitely in 60 frames, ain't it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm hoping we can fly through it and get there. You know, get there today. We should be able to. Rocker panel does extend beyond here, so that these holes that are behind here will get covered up. So I'm gonna trim that and kind of splice it in, and we should be just fine on that. Cut what I need to cut, grind what I need to grind, and get all my holes punched, and just get these things welded in. Yeah, a little body filler, and I guess we'll be good to go. But yeah, we got the middle section, we got the front section, we got the inners. We got the back, and we got the cab corner, so we got it all here. Hopefully this is the last time you're seeing this incomplete. Let's get to it. Hello. It's still black. we got one side done. It literally, that was about 3 hours. First time I ever did body panels and stuff, I just went to town and welded, but you'll learn quickly that you can't do that. You literally need to tack weld any kind of new body panels in. If you don't, the whole panel will fold on itself. It'll shrivel. It'll end up getting wavy. But this thing is absolutely flat all the way around, just how it should be. But if you sit there and hammer the heat on there and weld this thing, you're gonna warp your panel. So don't do that. I also came back here. We got the cab back on top. All the paint and powder and stuff is burning off when you weld it, so that's what all the black is. But got the cab folded back on top of the cab corner, so that's all good back here. Coming up here, everything's tack welded in, you know, sitting pretty. What we got to do now is grind all these down. Just as like I said, we just have the driver's side down, but got to grind all these down and even up in there. And I had to fill. There's a slight hole here I had to fill, and a slight hole here I had to fill, but. Patience and time, and you'll get that done. So I got to grind all of this down. If there's anything open or there's any area where I still need to weld again, we'll tack that, grind it, and we're gonna get some Bondo on this side. But as you can see over here, this is how we started today on that side. So we've come a long way in just a short amount of time, which is sweet. That side took us about 3 to 4 hours to do without any grinding. Grinding's pretty quick, and Bondo's not really, you know, relatively that hard. But I may just sit there and focus, get the driver's side done, Bondo that in, and maybe come back here and take care of this side tomorrow. I don't know, but like I said, you know, just be patient. You don't gotta rush it. Like I said, that Silverado. But I honestly bought that Silverado back in the day to do stuff like this and practice and learn. So if you have the opportunity, get yourself a decently priced vehicle that you're not all that worried about, and just get to it. Practice, and you'll be able to do stuff like this from then on out. Like I said, between paint, body work, you know, just like get a scrap fender, and just practice different guns, different things. Do research. If you want to learn a skill, just go for it and practice. Like I said, we'll be able to throw this side in, and we'll have ourselves a full complete unit here shortly. But I will say that this side of the truck is looking pretty darn good. I don't know why it went like black powder, and then like raw metal, but that's probably what was available at the time and in stock, so I'm not too worried about it. This whole thing will be painted anyways. It looks pretty darn sweet, so we're gonna get to it and grind the rest of this and get that all shaped in there. So that may have looked like an efficient way to get rid of Bondo, but please do not use that on your truck and think you'll be fine. As you saw at the beginning, I block sanded this, but I got to a point where it was just too chunky, and that's what you're gonna get with the fiberglass body filler right here, short strand. That's good for what we're doing, putting new panels in, covering seams, you know, making things fit. And like I said, you can't even tell that we weld this in here. It just looks like there's a whole bunch of Bondo on this truck. This is definitely not straight yet. I can tell you that right now. One, because it's pretty low there, But what we're actually going to do now, so this is flat here and up here, but in the middle, obviously you got the indents and stuff. I don't know if you can see that. But what we're going to do is we're going to get a putty, which is like a glazing putty, and we're going to go over this all again. We don't really need to focus on these right now because those are quick sands and they'll be flat. Just, you know, just to get any of the circles around where we drilled and stuff like that and welded, you know, flat. That's why I do that. But this is where you really need to focus on your body filler. And in this, I used that to knock down some of the long strands and other stuff. So we're pretty good and decently flat. So what we're gonna do is put that putty on here now, which will probably be the second to last coat. I'm gonna assume once I block sand this over here. Once I block sand this, it won't end up perfectly flat. One more light glaze after that, I'm gonna assume it's gonna be done. So we probably got 2 more runs at this, but this time around, instead of piling it on heavy, because what pretty much I did was I saw the seam where we welded through the Bondo, and you know, I just had to pile it up so we can make ourselves a kind of like a flat runway here for the whole, you know, panel to be flat again. So like right here, this is pretty good, but it's not perfect. So like I said, when we put the putty on here, we'll get the whole thing, you know, covered. And obviously I used our just can of black paint as our guide coat, and you know, we just got to do it again. So as I said, I knocked all the tough parts down with the grinder so I can make my life easier this time around, but this time we'll do a thin coat of the glazing putty, and should make our sanding job a lot easier, and we'll be able to get this thing pretty flat in no time. Guys, it's actually the next day here. I was gonna sit there and finish all this body, you know, all this body work, and then get the other side done and do all that. But it's been 48 hours rather. So we're actually gonna come up and just paint the rest of this frame, get that good set and drying. We'll come back and do the other rocker panel probably in the next video, finish the body work there in the next video as well. And I figured just make it all one video. That rocker panel will finish up, getting it all straight. This rocker panel will get all, you know, all this cleaned up, new one welded in. And then also, while we're at it, I might as well tackle the rest of the body work on this cab. Once literally the body work is done on the rocker panels and the cab corners and the roof, this thing is, in simple terms, ready for paint. So I figure while I got all the Bondo going and all that stuff, do that all at once. So I figure, you know, let's just paint the frame, get that done. And once the body work's really done, while I'm at it, I might as well just sand the rest of the cab. So I think that's our best option here. So I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna finish touching up and painting this frame today. So although it looks good now, it should look even better in a short amount of time. So we're gonna get the paint mixed up, the Eastwood 2K ceramic, satin finish, and we're gonna get this whole thing painted. Alright guys, and just like that, our frame is painted. This thing looks absolutely stellar. The Eastwood 2K ceramic satin. So when this actually dries and fully cures and hardens and does all that, because there is a hardener, activator in that paint, but once that actually hardens, does its activation, all that stuff, and it is cured on this frame, I will say that impressively there will be, you know, water resistant properties. I have sprayed certain sections of this frame with that satin paint. You can't even tell, first of all, but you know, right around these welds here, you know, it'll start to rust up, and you'll come in there, sand it, you know, spray it with the 2K ceramic, and it does have water resistant properties, which is super sweet. Not only are you actually painting your frame, giving it a fresh brand new look, like this frame looks right off the assembly line, and it's actually a 99. So like I said, this paint will give you not only a fresh frame look, but it'll give you a ceramic property to it, a little water, you know, repel action there, and resistance. Always good, especially in situations like this where you just got all the, you know, the flaky rust off and repainted it. I will say that this would be more impressive with the fully sandblasted down to just like nothing frame, because you'll actually see factory-like results when you're using a needle scaler, sander, brush wheel, all that stuff. Although you get a lot of the rust off, some of the just pitting and stuff like that from, you know, the rust over time, you do see imperfections. Obviously you guys can see it does look pretty good though. You can see the frame isn't like fully you know, smooth, or like where the, you know, where the bed was attached, but you know, it wasn't fully smooth. So I mean, you will see that compared to a factory, you know, factory frame here that's like, you know, just brand new, no rust, no nothing. So that's first things first, is always keep up with any rust on your truck's frames. If you see anything show up, like I always do, come in, just literally, whether it's the ceramic or, you know, just any frame paint, come in there, sand, you know, sand that surface rust and paint it. And like I said, this is a 17, it's been through multiple winters, and the really only thing that's been affected is the powder coating that, you know, probably wasn't done, you know, fully cured long enough, whatever, getting a little bit of water in there, and like I said, it rust on the side. But the rest of it, like here you can see this weld up here, right where the bed's kind of on, the fifth wheel hitch, all that stuff in this bed. You can see some rust here on this weld, so I'm gonna have to come in here, you know, Scotch Brite pad this and touch it up. As you can see, I can wipe it off with my fingers, but you don't want any more water getting into where that water already got. So paint it, keep up with it, and your frame will look like that, you know, 20 years later instead of this. So if you buy something new, keep up with it. I know we get in that groove and we're just like but down the road you're gonna shoot yourself when, you know, people are trying to find clean 99s or clean, you know, 92s, clean, all the clean classic trucks. So just remember, you know, 20 years from now, these are going to be the clean classic trucks. Nobody ever thinks of that now, but like I said, in the future, a 4th gen Ram is going to be a clean classic truck. Just remember that. So like I said, if you see any rust, stay up with it. Keep touching it up, get in there. Just take care of it when you see it, and you will not have to deal with it, you know, down the road, and it'll turn into something and a project like this. All right guys, so that's gonna actually do it for today's video. This frame looks freaking sweet. Honestly, it looks so darn good. I know I want to get to this other cab corner, but it's getting a little late today, and it's not gonna happen. So in the next video, we will get this all cleaned up, cut out what needs to be, other rockers welded in, Bondo done, and if we do it right and we time it correctly, we'll be able to have some time that same day to get the body work done on the roof. Don't hold me to it, but we might be able to sit there and fully get this thing stripped and ready for paint. Literally, it's ready. It's after these rockers go in. I mean, that's kind of the next step in the process, is to paint it to usually match your truck. But when you do a rocker panel thing and you do need to paint, you're gonna have to blend, and to blend, you're gonna paint the whole panel. So in that, and especially on 99, you know, I would say 99-year-old paint, but no, on a 99 where it's like 20, what is that, 21, 22-year-old paint, between sun fading and all that, it just won't match. So while you're at it, instead of fighting the match, you might as well repaint it. So that's why we're gonna repaint it a whole different color. I think a lot of you will probably be very impressed by the color. I can say that. I think I've fully decided on it and I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna say that a lot of you will be impressed on it, and I think when I'm done, you guys are gonna be like, oh, first of all, that fly, but second of all, we're gonna be like, ooh, he did it again. And that's the idea with this one. I think you guys are gonna be just stunned with the color I pick. I almost don't wanna reveal it till it's fully done, just for that shocking instance, but it's going to be quite hard when I got to do this thing in pieces. I got a lot of paint stands, new paint stands that just showed up, so we can hang doors, hang fender flares. I got a set over there I need painted, that need to be painted for a customer. I got a lot of stuff. You guys are going to see a lot of new stuff, a lot of cool stuff. I got actually a variety of paint guns coming. I got a base coat gun. I got my Iwata LPH 400 that honestly lays clear pretty darn solid. I know the Supernova does lay it even better, but that's like an $800 paint gun. And that's just considering I just bought that fresh LPH 400. We're going to use that one till it, you know, pretty much till it dies. And then we may upgrade our clear gun. But I got a new base coat gun, an Iwata LPH 400 LBV, which is supposedly really good for metallic paints. When we painted the Blue Streak Pearl bumpers, there were some kind of zebra stripes that kind of happened. And talking to a few people, that's literally just how the gun atomizes very fine metallic paint particles. I actually stepped that gun down from a 1.4. I think I have a 1.4 tip on that LPH 400, but it's actually a 1.3. It should atomize those very fine metallic particles awesome. So any metallic paint should have no issue, and it's also an awesome just base coat gun in general. So whether you're shooting metallics or normal color, like a flat color. And people also said online that it shoots clear good, which you don't really, or you shouldn't really shoot clear out of it. But I got my other LPH 400 for clear. I got my new LPH 400 LBV for metallics and base coat. And I got another Iwata coming that has a 1.8 tip, which shoots the heavy build primers so much easier. So I got all that stuff coming. We'll be able to do every step of the process. That will be honestly pretty darn sweet. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that new journey with the triple gun setup. It should leave us with the better than factory finish, honestly. Some of these new guns literally will lay clear better than like most of the bumpers and stuff we shot recently on these videos. The clear was flatter than factory, I will say that. So that's what I'm pretty impressed, and I'm pretty stoked to do this because when we finish this truck, it's going to look very sharp, and it's definitely going to not look tan, but I think it will look amazing. So that's gonna do for today's video. Let's in the next one we'll finish up all the body work and we'll be getting ready for paint if all goes as planned. So if you enjoyed this video, shoot a thumbs up. If you haven't been here before, please get down there, click subscribe, drop me a comment if you haven't already. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.